Welcome, WrestlingFigs.com. Tim Ash here with Ken Anderson. Ken, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Is this your first Comic-Con? Let me start off with that question.
No, it's my third Comic-Con. Yeah, third.
So what do you think about it?
I freaking love it. I'm not a huge comic book guy.
Right.
But this thing has become so big, and it's not just about comic books anymore. It's comics plus movies plus video games plus everything else, wrestling.
Right.
So I just enjoy coming. I enjoy looking at all the people, and I do enjoy comics as far as like the artwork goes. And looking around here, there's some amazing art, and there's just cool stuff to look at everywhere. So
yeah, this is my third one, and for me, it's not about the comic books or anything it's about the people and how they dress. I think that's pretty freaking cool. I mean, that's the draw of Comic-Con here, I think, in San Diego.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just sitting here. It's hard because I'm having a conversation over here with my friend a little bit ago, and I'm like doing this every,
just catching up looking at everything. There's a lot of things to look at.
There's a lot of things to look at. Yeah.
Well, tell us.
Good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. Tell us a little bit about Headlocked. What is this that you're doing with them?
Well, my friend, it's been his dream to, write a comic book, and some great artwork in these things, some good stories, and I am going to actually do. Many people do not know this, but I do draw a little bit.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And so Mike Kingston is the guy who started the comic book, and I guess like I said, he writes it. He's agreed to let me do a cover for him. So we haven't figured out exactly what the cover is going to be, but we're kind of working on that. And
well, that's kind of like a Wrestling Figs exclusive that, I don't think anybody knew that you were an artist. That's pretty cool. So that's something pretty big that you can fall back on too for later.
Well, I don't know if I would fall back on it. The thing was I started drawing when I was a little kid, and when I was in high school, I got into drawing caricatures of people.
Right.
And then friends and family would always ask me, "Hey, can you do a picture of so-and-so? Can you do a picture?" And it became a chore to me. And then I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, right.
So I just kind of
fun.
dropped it. So, but every once in a while I like to pick up a pen or a pencil or, some colored pencils or whatever. And
just go at it.
Yeah, do some doodling. And so, I had some artwork in a sketchbook. And when I met Mike and we got to talking, and I just showed him some of my art, and I said, "Hey, if you ever want, I'd love to draw something for your book," and he agreed to do it. So,
well, let's talk wrestling now that you've got this going as something different. Let's talk wrestling. I mean, a lot of people don't know you busted your ass for a long time in the independents. You were down in OVW for a while, got called up to the big leagues. Now you're even in TNA, which is the big leagues too. How has that transition been for you? I mean, because you've been all over the place, and wrestling has been something that's been good to you. And on my end, I mean, you're a hell of a worker. You know that, and I know that. A lot of fans know that. What's it like? What's that experience right now? I mean, are you comfortable where you're at right now, and you just want more?
Well, thank you for that, first of all. But I guess I'm never comfortable. I always want more.
Right.
It's just, I guess, how as you grow as a person, as you grow in your career, you start to want different things, I guess, and you look at things differently. And, I hated every moment of me struggling and eating peanut butter sandwiches and ramen noodles and cans of tuna and all that stuff. Piling 12 guys into a van and
going to a town with 20 people or less.
Sleeping in a bathtub because, we'd flip the mattress off. We'd get a hotel room with a queen-size bed in it, or maybe two queens, and we would flip the mattresses off, so we'd have 4 beds there basically.
Right.
But 2 guys would sleep on each
on the box
mattress.
Spring,
Yeah. So,
right.
and then one guy would sleep in the tub, just pile up some pillows and stuff like that. So that was hard, but now I look back at it and I'm so glad that I did it, because it means, it makes everything. I respect everything.
Right.
I feel like I earned the things that I have now, right. And so, I go from indies to WWE to TNA And now I think, I'm with TNA, and this company has so much potential. And we just made some very significant changes within the office part of the company. And I really think there's some good changes. Bringing John Gaborik on board is just phenomenal. And we had a meeting yesterday, and basically they told us about all these changes that are coming. And, you're either on board or you're not.
Right.
And I am on board, and I'm really excited about it. So.
Well, I mean, you got some great talent there. You got Kurt Angle, you got Hogan, you got Hardy, you got Sting, you got yourself. I mean, there's a lot of great talent there. Bubba Ray, Bully Ray, whatever.
That's just it. We have all these talent, all these guys that are already stars in the wrestling business, and then you've got guys that should be stars, and that they're homegrown TNA originals or guys that are just starting out. We've got some young talent on our roster that I just think that from the top of the card to the bottom of the card, we've got a phenomenal organization. We got the best talent in the industry, I think, in my humble opinion. I'm probably biased because I work for the company, but I really do think that.
And there's a lot of talent out there, but you do have some great talent.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah, I'm not taking anything away from anybody else, but just,
Now, let me ask you this, because Wrestling Figs is all about figures and about wrestling and about the characters in them. Now, you've had some great characters. You're still a great character now. You're in Aces and Eights right now. Do you collect any figures yourself? Do you have any of yourself, or what do you collect? What is in your collection at home?
I throughout my career, I've made sure that I've gotten at least one of every, all of my action figures.
Right.
So
it's been a lot of answers from a lot of the guys. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. And that's about it. I don't really collect anything else. I collected DVDs for a long. That was the only thing I ever collected was DVDs, and now I'm regretting it because I've got over 1,000 DVDs at home, and my wife will not let me display them anymore. And I'm actually kind of glad because it's kind of an eyesore.
Right.
We got 1,000 DVDs sitting there. It's like.
See, my wife has all the Disneys, and I have all the wrestling figures, so it's kind of like a I got every wrestling figure ever made.
I just remembered that. Like you have.
I'm the big Mark.
You've got like this amazing basement, right?
That's correct. That's me.
You're gonna have to show me pictures. You got pictures.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
So let me ask you this. Now, you've been in the business for a long time. Who broke you into the business?
Two guys out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, Mike Mercury and Eric Hammers.
Okay.
I called a guy out of Chicago, Illinois, named Rockin' Randy. You might know him.
Yeah.
And I left a message on his answering machine, said, Ken Anderson, I'm interested in becoming a professional wrestler. And he actually, instead of calling me back, because at the time I remember, and I had never heard Mick Foley's story. I was new to the I had just started watching wrestling really, so I didn't know anybody's backstory or anything like that. I didn't even know who Ric Flair was. Or Bret Hart.
You just knew where you wanted to be right then and there.
I knew that it was a good blend of acting and athleticism,
right.
Two things that I loved, and so I was like, this is what I want to do. And so basically, instead of calling me back, he called Mike in Green Bay because Mike was just starting a wrestling school,
okay.
And I was his first student.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool, that his first student, made it. But I went and had a tryout. I remember I paid $200 for my tryout. And I honestly, the minute I stepped foot in that ring, and it was a crappy 16 by 16 foot ring with like these floppy ropes that like hung down, and you
right,
you hit them and they just like stay there.
Right, exactly.
They didn't have any spring to them.
You couldn't move. You're just.
And the floor was like bumping on concrete with like this right here, where there's just a little carpeting over concrete, no padding or anything. It was terrible.
So OVW was an upset for you.
Yeah. But I loved it.
That's good.
And the minute I stepped through that rope, I knew that I was home. And I just devoted every waking moment. I mean, I remember like that's all I thought about was wrestling for like the next 10 years of my life. So,
Well, let me ask you this. Last question. I know you got other people to deal with. Wrestling figure-wise, if you could put yourself in a figure with anybody in the history of wrestling, who would it be? You and somebody else. Who would it be?
wow,
Anybody.
really? That's tough, man. That's tough.
Anybody. You can go with legends. You can
Carl
go with
Gotch.
Gotch. Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. All right. Do Luthez.
I don't know, man. This is going to sound like I'm a huge mark, but the reason I'm standing here right now is because I was at a friend's house one night, and he told me that I had to watch wrestling because there was this guy who drank beer and threw up middle fingers. And
that was coming. I figured that.
And I seriously, I was like, all right, whatever. And I watched, and I was like, and then I went home next Monday night. Let's see what's going on, and I got sucked into the vortex, and here I am. So, it'd have to be Steve Austin, I guess.
Yeah, that would be an awesome two-back right there, just like that. Well, I appreciate your time.
I'm not sure he would feel the same, but
oh no, I think for collectors it would be good. Well, I appreciate your time. Good luck with Headlocked, and we look forward to seeing you on the Bound for Glory series. Maybe seeing your finals there.
All right, man.
All right. We'll have more coverage from Comic-Con 2013 for WrestlingFigs.com.